Hi there, welcome to Torment Tides of Numenera. Welcome to the game. This is going to be a let's play, a role-playing let's play, based on the story, not on the optimal decisions. So just to get you informed, we're not going always to choose the optimal decisions. We're going to choose the decisions most fitting to our character. It's going to be a fun ride. I've played through the early access versions. I know quite a bit about the game and the mechanics, and I'll give you some tips along the way. It will also have some kind of a really relaxed pace and a voiced touch. So if you're going to dream a little bit with us in the strange story that is Tides of Numenera, the madness story, then you're welcome to join us. I'll make sure to also read out in pronounced fashion, as good as I can, the interesting dialogues. Of course, not something like so-and-so attacks, but like the deep story-like elements. If they are not voiced already, I'll read them out to you. So this is what you can expect, like a relaxed let's play. That's basically of someone who's experienced in the game. I've played through it already, like the early access version. And yeah, we're going to play more like an intellectual character, so we can enjoy really diving deep into the story and finding out a lot. So it's about exploring the world, not only for us as a let's player and for you as like a watcher or listener. It's also for the character. He wants to explore the world. That's, in this case, we'll play as a her, because I think it's interesting. We'll have that motivation to explore, to find out more about the world, and to find out about the hidden motivations of the other characters. So let's start. As I said, we're going to be going for a for a slower paced, story-like approach, so we can enjoy the full story. And this is not like a guided walkthrough that is going to click every dialogue away. No, we'll enjoy the dialogue, at least the dialogue that is meaningful. We'll not talk to merchants for a long time. But if there's story in there, we will use that story for our delight. So we'll be female this time.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important, as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
We'll look around. As we're explorers, we'll not look at the body, we'll look around.
A pink, fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside. The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you.
But we also want to stay alive, so... look at the horizon for now, though.
You are spinning too rapidly to get a good look. You can see a large landmass, a vast body of water directly below you, and scattered archipelagos, but the detail eludes you. A deep black night is above you, its nocturnal clarity disappearing as the haze of atmosphere envelops you.
Lie flat now to stabilize the fall.
Spread your arms and legs, and they respond smoothly. A strange sensation. Since you realize this body is new to you, the spinning and tumbling stops. The wind still howls past your new ears, a vast roar that deadens a part of your infant mind. Water springs unbidden to your eyes, the tears torn away by the wind. Through the haze of moisture, it is difficult to see. But if you focus your attention, you may be able to make out the details of the world.
And we see nothing. The wind is howling. Let's focus and look at the world. We want to find out more.
You can focus on it. You see that the large mass is clearly a gargantuan megacontinent. The only land of any size on this side of the world, at least. Great inland seas and lakes dot its enormity, and curiously, regular mountain ranges march up and down across its surface. You are falling toward what looks to be a great bay, a sprawling city perched on its shore just to the north. Further north and east lies a broad plain, scattered with curious structures visible even from this height. The northeastern part of your vision is a perfectly circular desert, a blue dot containing a watery city in its exact center. To the west lies a ring of mountains, surmounted by enormous carven peaks spewing magma into a central catch basin. What concerns you most right now is the ground. It's coming at you fast. Directly below you is a littered bay.
Yeah, I mean, we're explorers, but we can see the bay when we've landed. Let's try to aim for the water for now.
You angle your arms and cup your hands, but the wind batters you and you lose control of your fall and begin to tumble again. You have no idea where you're aimed. A mass of colors surrounds you, and the sound of roaring wind diminishes noticeably, but it is not enough. And there is a sickening crack as you strike something, the howl of a sudden surge of energy, and then darkness.
Have we died? What has happened? We're in a kind of a matrix. This is who we are in this world. So if we can interact with this thing. Jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, spattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light and needs to be filled, yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. We'll examine the bowl, as it is normal for an explorer. Trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral up from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflected light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls from the ceiling. We'll carefully move the bowl beneath the liquid. So, what do we have? 80%, 100%? We want 100%. Let's expand everything. We want to be successful in that. Continue. Carefully move the bowl to collect the glowing liquid in it. You can also have a critical success, then you get all the points that you invested back. Drop by drop the bowl fills, ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. Clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello? Are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path up to us, and be careful. Oh, it glows. Let's go to the next glowing light. What's this? As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell, a bubble of stale air, your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves, but this body's an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Whereas your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Yeah, we're intellectuals, so we're going to do this ourselves. We're quite capable. We cast a spell and esotery to fix the device ourselves. You mumble a few words, drawing power from the air around you until a solution appears in your mind. You snatch the device from his hands, rewire it, and shove it back at him. "Oh," he says, examining your world. "Sorry, I was trying to improve the thing." He waves the device at the door, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. The dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water-bordered cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. We will... What will we do? We'll use a device to stop them. One of the ciphers in our belt. You run urgent fingers over the devices fastened to your waist, a fog rising in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but it will also turn your skin to synth steel, also the surrounding water to boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver sphere. Setting the sphere in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they too are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped to pieces. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are all too aware that more alarms are going off in the distance. The memory begins to fade, as if you were being drawn backward through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. And it forms again. Let's explore. What is this? The light around the door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in the high wind. No sign or symbol tells you what might be behind this enormous door. A dull chill radiates from this bronze segmented surface. The thick metal wheel seems frozen into place. Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, but to no avail.
All right.
Let's get over there and find out about this glowing ball. Stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. The self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we've found? We'll convince her with the wisdom of our superior intellect, of course. A slight chill enters the air as you describe the potential power of the metallic disc below and the sealed vaults beneath it. She nods. So that's what your servitor machines are doing down there. You've already chosen this as a site, haven't you? She waits for your affirmation and says, "All right, I'm convinced." The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. "It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it?" We will look for a deeper solution. Perhaps it's an effect of the metallic disc itself. A mist falls onto the plateau as you wrap a fiber shielding mesh around the construct's skull. The mesh powers up, protecting the construct's mind from any transdimensional emissions that might be in the area. Taking a deep breath, you repeat your command. Acknowledged. It obediently trundles to the side of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind. Block by jagged block, you stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming your memory's hurts. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift one by one on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you're doing and is hunting you. So what's this? What's going here?
I'm going.
We are going to that glowing ball again. A vision of a city springs up around you. Your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need her to get to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn toward the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor, and holding a hilt with a sizzling, invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. We'll find out who's the greater threat, because we're thinkers, right? Fight defensively and figure out who presents the greater threat. The memory seems crystal clear. The giant is menacing, it's true, but the invisible blade of his companion is more worrisome still. The energy field that flickers and wavers around it suggests that she can carve matter at the molecular level, tearing pieces of her target into nothingness. If you're to save yourself, your best bet is to tackle her first. She's stuck behind the giant, waiting her turn to attack you, unable to bring her weapon to bear until he's out of the way. But it's clear that she expects him to handle you, and her eyes rove behind you, her focus on your ward. She's certainly not expecting you to dive between the giant's legs and come up inside her guard. She can't bring her blade to bear in time, and you drive your dagger up under her chin. You catch her, for her deadly blade drops onto you, and spin her around. The weapon slashes into the giant, and he topples, bisected. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. You'll crack the door open to sneak past them. You don't want to fight. It can be risky. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly, the sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. Let's see, there is a mirror door.
Yes.
Let's get to that. We'll see ourselves. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocked symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets and more. But that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious view are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs, and the choices you made shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. And now you have a number of choices that is opened up by your choices before. We'll go for the doppelganger with the clever eyes for now. The doppelganger makes its way over to you. It's about to speak when a thuggish figure charges out of the crowd and shakes its knife in the doppelganger's face. Speaking in your voice, the doppelganger raises a calming hand, appealing to the thug's better nature, the combination of disarming wit and outright lies. Scowling, the thug lowers his knife and apologizes to the doppelganger for the trouble. Doppelganger turns to you, waiting for your decision. Yes, that is who I am. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edges of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face exudes intelligence and confidence. Shadows of several devices shimmer all around it. Technology of several kinds, from a myriad of past ages. You get the feeling you would be comfortable with all of it. The word nano sounds in your mind, and we're clever. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out in the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds like a bell. If bells could rot, something is coming. The mirror fades, leaving a dark, open doorway. Take a deep breath and step through. So, we've reached the character creation. You can choose whatever you want. You can also basically undo what you've experienced in there. So, for now we're in Nano, and we'll keep that type. And I would say to you, thank you for watching for now. Happy gaming to you, and see you in the next episode when we make the choices for our character. Have a good time, and happy gaming.